I have to start recording.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Sweet. Oh, and I see a bunch of folks coming in. Thank you, thank you. Sweet. Starting 30 seconds late. Sorry about that. Happy to have you all in here. I'll hold on a moment while people join. But on the screen, if you are here, I did ask for you to introduce yourselves in the chat. So I will demonstrate for you. Make sure you can use the chat to drop down so that it is sent to everyone, not just hosts and panelists. So I'll go ahead and send a message here. My name is Emma. I'm Emma, zooming from DC, and my favorite thing is making new friends. I asked a question in the on the screen right now saying, what do you like about professional networks? Because I don't think I've actually ever asked anyone that. And a lot of this today is talking about the library network. This is an in community science library network, and now I'm curious what everyone likes. So why do we join professional networks, or why don't we join them sometimes? What do you want out of them? Any of that information is wonderful. It's great to see so many of you join so quickly. Awesome. And I'm loving the recognizable faces. Hi, Mo. Hi, Mary. Or recognizable names, I should say. Awesome. All right. Thank you for writing the chat. I see we have a bunch of you on with us. Corey, hello. Like sharing knowledge. All right. Love it. Makes sense. We've got Bridget. Oh, too many answers now. My thing is skipping. Ellery is coming in from Texas, sharing knowledge and getting new ideas, helping children learn from Jen, excuse me. Andy, South Carolina. Hello. Finding new ideas that I never would have thought of for programs or services. Awesome. Yeah. Favorite thing is learning from others. That's Bridget from Philly's Burbs. Nice. Cranston this person is in Cranston. Uh, Getting to hear about other things going on in other libraries. Awesome. From Ohio, Hannah, nice to meet you. Learning new ideas and ways to actively participate. Haley from Dubois? How do you pronounce that city? Indiana. Love learning new things and hearing new ideas. All right, cool. I'm loving these answers. Thank you so much. If you have thoughts about this moving forward, please feel free to add it in. I'd love to know your thoughts. Before we get started, my name is Emma Giles. I work for SciStarter as the Director of Operations and Programs. So I work a lot with the Library Network, and I'm so glad you all are here for the Citizen and Community Science Library Network Professional Development webinar. We generally do these quarterly, but we will have monthly opportunities to meet up in the coming months, especially leading up to Citizen Science Month in April. And so today we're talking about acts of science, which is the common name we're using for describing citizen science activities during Citizen Science Month. And so we want to make sure that everything you do during April will count towards this effort and why you would want it to count towards this effort as well. So I have a lot of information to share with you all today. It is a lot, so we have a whole blog post planned with the recording, a ton of links for resources that I mention, and follow-up information for you as well coming out tomorrow. So if you miss anything, don't fret. First of all, Roland will absolutely add links to the chat for you. And we'll have that blog post sent out to everyone who registered. So for all of you who are here right now, thank you for joining. And if you're listening to this recording, you'll probably be seeing this recording via that blog post. So happy to have you joining us. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and move forward. Oh, just a quick note too, Roland is also here. So if you need anything Zoom-wise for technical issues or have a specific question that I might have missed, feel free to send it his way so he can give a quick response too. Hey, Roland, yeah, he's the one who just sent a message in the chat. Hello. All right, cool. All right, let's move forward. So we're talking about a lot today. We're going to cover all these things. So we'll talk about what is citizen science. So if you're coming here fresh, don't fear. We will cover everything from the basics and just remind everyone of our definitions. We'll talk about what the libraries as community hubs for Citizen Science Library Network and our strategies, impact, and resources for y'all. We'll talk about getting started from any capacity level with citizen science writ large, and then how that applies to Citizen Science Month. And special thing for 2026 is America 250, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So we're gonna hit all those things amazingly. We'll see. We'll see. If there are any questions too, feel free to drop them in the chat anytime. I'm very good at suddenly switching to that if it is relevant. So just to kind of get a gauge, temperature check for everyone, how familiar are we with citizen science? Are you an expert, meaning you participate all the time? Are you a practiced person? So done a little bit, maybe facilitate a little bit, but you're not usually the one doing a ton of it. Are you a beginner? So you've heard of it, barely. Or never heard of it. What did I sign up for? Who am I? I don't know. We'll find out. Thank you, those of you writing into the chat. I'm loving the descriptive emojis I'm getting too. Ash, thank you so much for adding a caterpillar, my favorite animal. We got practiced, we got beginner, never heard of it. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I see a heart coming up in the screen. Oh, a zebra. Used to be my favorite animal. They're great too, but they're an animal of illusion. But I do like caterpillars more now. Attended sit-sci programs at Liberal. Oh, awesome. You might have seen me then. Cool. I'm a little practice, have facilitated a little bit, want to do more. Yes, loving it. Also loving the more emojis. If more come to mind, feel free to drop them in the chat anytime. I love emojis. All right, cool. So we're kind of a mix, but we're in the lower level. It's not necessarily a lot of experts on the line, so cool, good to go. This is our official definition. So, citizen science, it is serious science. It is science that is actually used. It's a global movement, so it enables all folks from all walks of life, excuse me, to contribute to real scientific research in collaboration with scientists. We are not the test subjects, we are team players, right? We are team members with science teams working on various different research topics, whether that be biodiversity, all the way to health science, all the way to astronomy, etc. As wide as science is, that's how wide citizen science is. You can do it from any time, at any time, and from anywhere. So there are a bunch of synonyms. If you're more comfortable using things like community science, neighborhood science, participatory research, crowdsourcing, we want you to know that we accept all definition or all terms. Whatever works for your community makes sense for you. So you don't need to use any particular phrasing unless it works for your community. That is also why we're talking about acts of science, because it is more about the action as opposed to learning a definition of citizen science, for example. So if there are any questions about that or what is considered citizen science versus not, please drop in the chat. I'll also be covering 2 more slides on the basics. So what does it include? All these things. You could be observing, so maybe you're looking at biodiversity, taking pictures of wildlife via bionaturalist. You might be looking at the night sky, looking for how many stars you see in a constellation. You might be doing some monitoring activities. So you're looking at camera trap imaging and seeing which animals you see. You're monitoring pollinators in your local garden. You're looking for bird migration during the fall right now, right? Last weekend, I think, was Global Big Day, so big birder situation right now. It's also about to be Birdability Week too, so great timing for a lot of bird-related stuff. And then also in the spring, same deal. You might be measuring, so you might be using physical tools to track something. So low-cost sensors for water quality, light pollution monitors, marine debris would just be you picking it up and counting it all, right? So measuring doesn't have to be using tools necessarily. You could be analyzing, similar to the camera trap example. You could be looking at telescope imaging that tells you if you see a galaxy or not, and helping like move through that data to find what's the good data, what's the not good data, and a lot of images online. If you're familiar with Zooniverse, for example, many of their projects, if not all of them, deal with analyzing images. And then collecting, you might be literally collecting samples and sending it off to a lab. That definitely happens. It's on the less frequent range of things, just because it usually is associated with the cost. Not all of them, luckily, but there is a little bit more involved, so it's tougher. Big idea is that you should be able to do your hobbies, your science or nature-related hobbies, and actually help real research as an independent person. So I could go out by myself, or you could do it with a group, which is why we have all of you here to fill that need, that gap, right? All right, so STEM versus citizen science. What is the real difference? So we know that many of you, if not all of you, are already doing STEM programming and you love STEM programming, which is that science, technology, engineering, and math activities writ large. Those are great. Citizen science takes that to the next level by actually contributing to real science. So unless you are supporting a real research project by sending data somewhere or using the data for an active community research purpose, then it is not considered citizen science. Citizen science must have that extra piece of here's the data, researcher, please use it for good, which they do, and they'll report back to you. So anything from bird watching, great, but you have to submit data on iNaturalist, eBird, etc. Stargazing, great, but that also means you need to report how much local light pollution there is. Gardening activities, gardens are great. You could be making an effort to add more pollinator plants. Awesome. But make sure you send a list of all the pollinators you see within a 5-minute period to the Great Sunflower Project, for example. There are several that work for many of these. There's all kinds of examples of how to incorporate citizen science. So if you already do STEM, the idea is that this shouldn't be a big push to make it's not a big new program. This is something you can tag on to a lot of the programming you're already doing. And then after school activities is a great example for the online projects. A lot of those are sitting and playing a computer game, for example. And that is just perfect for an after school activity. In fact, our middle schoolers are generally the best at doing stall catchers, which is an Alzheimer's research project that is basically a video game. So it's a great one to start with. All right. So, what does this have to do with SciStarter? So, if you all are relatively familiar with SciStarter, I hope you already have an account. If you don't already, Roland has dropped the link in the chat to add yourself as a member to SciStarter. We highly recommend this. It is the go-to source for volunteers, scientists, facilitators, and researchers. What this means is that we aim to be the hub of knowledge, that getting started place for you to find your way through citizen science. So whether that be finding a project, whether that be adding an event and getting support for planning an event, we aim to be that person for you. And so to add more context to that, if you have an account, that means you can find and save projects that you can look at later. You can find events that already exist on our database, or you can add your own and we can help promote it for you. You can take free trainings, which some of them you can take without an account, but it can't save the data to your identity. So by having an account, that means you can earn badges that you can put on your LinkedIn. It shows the actual skills that you are earning. You can create lists. So if you want to set up a computer in your computer lab with a bookmark that says citizen science projects, you can send them to a list of projects that anyone can jump on from, just recommended by you as a librarian. You also can track impact through contributions over time. So you can see how often you participate and what projects. That helps a lot for us because we work on research on the actual big idea of citizen science, the industry, the entire endeavor of citizen science. We help contribute to that research. And so this does help us. But it also will help you track what your library is doing, what your community is doing through those accounts. All right. And then lastly, doing things like this so you can hang out with us and participate in these live events. Now, for all of you as library related or facilitator related folks, we have 3 specific programs that are related to you. One of which being directly citizen science at your library, another being Citizen Science Month, which we'll talk a lot more about, and then the SciStarter Ambassadors for Citizen Science, which is a newer program, the newest. So step by step. Citizen Science at your library. That is a program designed for you by folks like you who are involved in libraries to help us develop a set of tools for you to learn how to bring citizen science to your community. So if you have not already joined our network, Roland just dropped the link in the chat, join the library network. No requirements to join. You don't even have to do any citizen science. It just has to be in reference to you are interested in providing programming in the future or you are currently. There is a map. It's great to be able to add libraries to the map, but it is optional. So if you're not currently doing any programming or you don't have library kits, which is definitely a stretch, like that's like the highest effort item, you can be on the map so folks can find you essentially, but it's not required. It also signs you up for the newsletter. So if you're wondering about any of that stuff too, just a note there is you can sign up and not add your library if you don't have like permission from your leader, and you don't have to be a librarian. You could be from any type of organization as well. All right, so that's one. I'm going to talk more about the library network, and in fact, I have a quick question for you, and that would be, are you already in the library network? So if you are currently in the library network, or you think you are, feel free to put a fire emoji in the chat, or any kind of emoji that's descriptive, or give a hand raise from your account, any of the above, just to share if you're in it, because I know a bunch of you are. Question mark, perfect. Yeah, so you're not sure. Perfect. That's great. And Mani, I know you're an ambassador, so you're there. You're involved anyway. Awesome. All right. I saw some emojis come up as well. Okay. Yeah, if you're not sure, feel free to just sign up now. We'll deduplicate you if you are already in it too, so don't worry about that too. You can sign up as many times as you want, and we'll just remove you if you've been in it. You've already added. I'm loving these emojis. Thank you all for humoring me with that. Awesome. Okay, cool. Those other two programs I will touch on in a moment, so I'm going to go ahead and move us forward for interest of time. And I believe you actually already answered this. Yes. I liked the emoji idea better, so we'll just move forward. So what is it about citizen science and libraries? Why are we making this effort to do the library network? Why are we requesting your help to be a part of this? So we have done a lot of research. As a research associate or affiliate of Arizona State University and North Carolina State University, we do a lot of work that's grant funded and oriented in a way that's gaining more information for the field. And so when we talk to libraries about participating, we learn things that are awesome. We learn about confidence levels increasing. We learn about being able to communicate science to the public. And so all these different things on this slide are all about what we have learned from you all being a part of it. And it's all very positive news. On the right-hand side, you'll also learn what your patrons, your library patrons are learning, or your students, depending on what type of human you are today, whatever hat you're wearing. And that's things like they get to feel like they're contributing to stuff that they care about, to research they care about. They're contributing to scientific knowledge as a whole. Maybe they don't care that much about it, but they still feel like they're a part of that process. Their awareness is increasing, your interest is increasing, knowledge, the ability to collect, the confidence in your ability to collect data and interpret data is increasing. It is gaining ground in science literacy as well. And there are tons of research you can look into from us that is available on our research page. Roland, would you mind dropping that in the chat? I did not add it for you. But you can visit scistarter.org/research to learn more about those things too. And just a note there at the top here, we only started this process because we saw barriers to entry for folks that included things like lack of access to resources, lack of awareness, and then social isolation too, which we'll come back to very soon as well. All right, so I gave you a little bit of a pitch before. Here's the more specific information about the library network. So if you are in it already, awesome. If you're not, here's what you can look forward to. So free training, guides to plan events, virtual professional development webinars like here. It's an open call most of the time, but it is specially sent invitations to you all. We create turnkey and customizable resources. We use Canva templates, for example, so they're turnkey, but you can also make your own versions of it depending. And it's a peer-to-peer network. I want you all to be able to talk to each other. And so some of these events will include discussions, and we have a Facebook group that allows for that peer-to-peer connection. And then we'll also always help you. We will provide technical programming and promotional support where we can. So if you haven't already, SciStarter account, library network, thumbs up. Okay. And you'll be joining 1,200 people, so pretty great. All right. So, library network. We have a whole hub of information for you all at scistarter.org/library. So if you want to take a trip over to that website, you can kind of get a lay of the land. There is a lot on there, so I want to point out a couple things for you just so you know what some of the main ideas are. We went through a little bit of a refresh and are still doing a facelift to some of the pages. And so good things are coming, or really awesome things are coming. And so if you see on my slide right now, this whole section over here is new. We wanted to make sure it was very clear that we will meet you at whatever capacity that you're at. And so if you are looking for ways in which to do something very simple, it has to be passive, it cannot be a big event, great, we have options for you. From anything from a book list, so not even doing citizen science, but just reading about it, to displays, to circulating citizen science kits being like the highest level, or rather the expensive level anyway. The rest of it's free. We've got what you need, right? We want you to just get familiar with the resources that might be helpful and and remain able to find the resources when they become available, which means knowing what the website looks like, and also being in the library network so we can send you messages on when there are new resources. Awesome. Okay. If there are questions, I know I speak fast. And again, all these resources will be shared with you after the fact as well, so you can scroll through at your own leisure. But if there are questions, feel free to drop in the chat anytime. Okay. Cool. The second main item I wanted to share is this very busy slide because there's a lot on here and a lot to share. And that is that we have a lot of unique resources that are built to prepare you to do citizen science in the library via events or promote it to your patrons. So promotional toolkit, for example, especially for Citizen Science Month. Those are ways to communicate Citizen Science Month and citizen science writ large to your community. So you can look forward to like blurbs for newsletters, images and graphics that are already pre-built for you, program planning guides if you need them, recipe cards, monthly meetups on Zoom is what we're doing right now. So starting in September, actually. So we're about to hit a November one, December, etc. And then we even have a project finder widget. So if you want to add us to your website, it's like a little box where people can find a project. You can absolutely do that too. We want to make it easy. And then we also have calendars. So you can see in the top right-hand corner, there is a set of calendars that's for every month of the year. So you'll see October's on scistarter.org/calendar. You can also go to the footer and find it. And so we have those every month, and April's an especially busy one, so it always ends up being the most amazing calendar. So you can look forward to that as well and can start using them now. I have a question in the chat. Is it possible to do projects year round or just in April? Oh, year round. Please do it year round. Yeah, absolutely. April is special because it is a month of celebration, and so it's where we put a lot of our efforts and a lot of our like collective impact. But you as an individual library or organization or person, like there is no limit to how often you can participate. Citizen Science Month is just when we establish like a challenge or a goal for the amount of participation we want, and you can do what you will with it. Can your calendar be personalized to our library by adding our logo? Sure. It's via Canva. I don't think I have a template link available yet, but I can make one. So I'll go ahead and make a note about that too. Um, awesome. I'll save this for later. 1 million acts of science is the April goal. Amani, it's actually increased. We're at 2.5, which I'll cover in like 2 seconds, actually. So yeah, we're doing even more because last time we hit more than 3 million. So we're like, no, we can do this. OMG, yeah. Awesome. All right. So the last or two last things in terms of like resources for libraries. I did mention this before, but just so you know which trainings are the most optimal for you right now. We have a foundations training, which is also really helpful for regular volunteers. And so if you want to do an introduction to citizen science, this is a highly recommended resource. And it even comes with a set of slides and a facilitator guide, so you can do it as a presentation. And then we have one specifically for libraries that has been recently updated, I believe in July. And so this is a pretty developed version of the training that's pretty close to what all the resources are right now and pretty evergreen. So definitely would recommend doing that. All right, and the link is in the chat for that too. All right, lastly, for resources regarding libraries writ large, we did develop a program for SciStarter ambassadors because we noticed that as we were starting to use and talk to libraries as community hubs, which was amazing, there just still wasn't enough time in the day. And so we wanted to make sure there were folks available to support you. And so in SciStarter ambassadors, if you were to go to that link at the second to last message in the chat, thank you, yeah, SciStarter.org/ambassadors-directory. That'll give you a list of 160 ambassadors, including some who are on the line today, that you can reach out to. You can search via their names, their city, or you can search via keywords. So if you're looking for pollinator-related things, if you look up pollinator, it'll show up with the folks who have written pollinator into their descriptions, their bios. And so you can learn a little bit more and reach out to folks nearby or folks who just are involved in things that you are interested in pursuing as well. All right. Cool. Oh, I saw another message. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely take note of that calendar thing, I believe. Okay, for the main event, and we're not even halfway through the hour, so we're doing good on time. I'll try to slow down my speaking. So, Citizen Science Month, big deal. It's especially a big deal this year because we are intersecting with a pretty big event in the US as well. So if you are in the USA, that means that you are also going to be celebrating America 250. Now, whether or not you are aware of this, essentially it is the fact that the Declaration of Independence was signed 250 years ago. And so in 2026, July is like the big splash, I believe, 4th of July. But the whole year is all about 250. And so that is great. What that means is that there are partners involved in a thing called America Gives, in which it is meant to be the largest volunteer effort in US history. And so, alongside all these different volunteer organizations, SciStarter is an official partner of America Gives because volunteering for citizen science, volunteering for science, really, is a big deal. Being able to be a part of the scientific endeavor in the US is absolutely volunteering, and absolutely should count towards this. And so we want everything that you do to be connected to that. Now, the link that was just put in the chat refers to the resources we have specifically related to America 250 for libraries. So if you've heard of this already or you're just getting curious, you can go ahead and take a look at pages, or sorry, the slash library dash America 250, because it will have the most up-to-date information about the 250 connection. Citizensciencemonth.org is still under construction while we're building up this big party. And so while it's under construction, that's a good reference point. And there is some link out to more resources for Citizen Science Month as well from there. So it's a pretty good starting spot there. All right. And because it is America 250, 250, we decided why not have 25 million acts of science? That might be too high. So we put the decimal point in between and said 2.50. So we're saying 2.50 million acts of science in April is our goal. And we are very, very excited because we know we can make this. We've had 1 million acts of science as the goal for the last 2 years. And we think we can go even higher. We surpassed 1 million after 14 days last year. So we can absolutely make it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes on in April. So if you're looking for a time to make a big splash in citizen science, it'll be a really good time in April. All right. Any questions about that? Double checking in the chat. I think we're okay. Okay. Oh, just a note too is since it is an America 250, there is citizen science that is on the history side of things, like transcribing historical documents, transcribing documentation of species over time, local things, connections to the founding fathers, because a lot of if most science was done from a amateur naturalist lens, we just didn't have experts in labs until science had moved forward a bit more. And so a lot of our history involves citizen science, that amateur science where we don't have this certification, but we're developing it over time and just hobbyists. We're tracking agricultural trends, etc. And so there's a lot to be said for connecting America 250 to citizen science as an evolution over time and connecting back to our roots, whatever those roots might be, depending on where you are. All right, so as I said, the America 250 library page is a great reference point, and we'll send that as like the #1 place to go to right now, and it will keep evolving as well. But we did just do a quick update, or not a quick update, but an update to our Citizen Science Month resource page. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll this way to the same page that you just saw. So if you were to visit citizensciencemonth.org, there's a button that says event resources, and then it changes to host an event. That'll be the same word after a while. And this has everything you need. This will be your one-stop shop. So when we have it fully finalized, the library network will get like a big email saying like everything is ready. For now, most of it is ready, but there are things that are still labeled with like 2025 that we need to swap out, for example. And so right now, it is a great time to just kind of look and scan through, especially since there's a big update we have for participation this April that I'll start talking about in a slide. And essentially, we want you to be able to host your own events and programs. They can be passive, they can be active, they can be whatever you want them to be. But we want you to be able to build your own. So we have a build your own section. So if I were to click that, for example, everything you need, get everything, prepare, plan, facilitate, promote, make it count for when we have to report our acts during April. So lots of things here. And then when I go back one, oops, get rid of my Zoom things. If I go back to the regular page I was just on, there's also host a live stream and media toolkit. So if I hit host a live stream, this is the big thing I'm going to talk to you about for the rest of the time, basically. So there is a lot of on-ramps for getting into citizen science, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to jump in in a really meaningful way. And so we've designed a program called Access Science Connected, in which there is let's call it a mothership. There's a main event that SciStarter is producing. So we're working with project leaders to produce an event that will be live streamed across the country. So you can essentially sign up and apply to be a satellite host of this. All you would need essentially, what we're asking at this point in time is, do you have the capacity to do so? Do you have a room with a presentation area? Do you have internet? Do you maybe have devices for the people who join so they can participate in real time? What days and times do you want to be involved and what topics do you want to be a part of? And let's get your interest in sooner rather than later. And so what this means and I'll skip back, but we're asking all of you to give us your input on what you want to be involved in. We have tentative plans. Things still might change, but we're looking to see what makes the most sense. And so if I scroll back to our slide deck, I can get a little bit more specific. I'll come back to that. So what is it exactly? This is a lot of places across the country. It's one purpose. We're all gathering together to do a specific project that advances science. So we've got one project during an event. We're hosting a live stream from our end. So the project scientists, I'll be online emceeing, talking to the project scientists, explaining what is this project? What are we going to learn? How do we participate? And then we do participate as much as humanly possible. So if you have devices, for example, that would be great. If you're just a live stream watching it and want to do Q&A with the researcher, that's great too. It's designed for ages 13 and up just because participation is trickier for younger ones, or at least is a little bit more hands-on. But everyone is welcome. It's up to you all. And then it's supposed to be fun for all. It's a gateway into this citizen science world and STEM engagement. And so beyond just the live stream, though, we will also make sure that you are able to take advantage of past and program resources too. So maybe all of your audience members can't make it to the time and date of the one that you really want to be a part of. That's totally fine. There will be ways for them to engage otherwise. So we'll be developing flyers that have a way to, like a QR code that tells them, here's how you do it, here's the video you missed out on, or here's like an intro from the project leader before the event happens, and step-by-step instructions like, here's how you get started, let's go. And so we want to make this as easy as possible and less work on you all as well. You can pick one event per week, so we'll have 4 different topics or 4 different projects, but we'll have multiple times to cover a bunch of different time zones across the US. And so you can pick one. You just might really love historical transcribing. Cool, let's do it. And then there's a couple options for you there. But you can also do all 4. It depends on you and your library. Like, do you want to put all your efforts into one activity, make it a whole month activity? Or do you want to do separate ones each week to just address different audiences and interests? Yeah, and so you can just choose your own plan. The ones that are planned by us, the satellite or the bigger main events are going to be a set of 4 projects. But if there are projects outside of that you want to be involved in, you are more than welcome to use our materials as templates for developing your own version of this. And we can also get you in contact with the project leader, for example. There, as you'll notice too, there's a lot of levels of like very high engagement levels, or you may be doing very little, just setting up the space for someone to watch the video essentially. So maybe you plan your own because you want to do this one project and it's a big deal, or you just set up chairs. So we want to make sure it's available for everyone in various formats. And if you do need help with any of this, I will share momentarily as well, but we are available for technical support calls and we'll have monthly calls and practices leading up to April as well. Awesome. Oh, and thank you for the interest in the chat. Cool. I'm glad it's sounding good. Great. All right. As I mentioned before, SciStar is doing all the heavy lifting. So we'll invite the scientists. We'll set up the Zoom. We'll do that mothership event. They're about 2 hours each, and we'll help you do all the participating. What you would need to do is just tell us that you're participating. So sign up for the Zoom essentially. Or sign up for the Zoom and apply with us so we know who's interested. And that also will help us because if there's something about the time zones that is iffy, we can also address that too. You need to invite your community, obviously, prepare for the Wi-Fi use and devices, and add in any in-person fun. If it's a space day, like a space activity, we'll have at least one NASA project, for example. That could be an opportunity to say, hey, everyone, wear your best stars inspired outfit. I don't know. I was trying to come up with something clever and that's what came out. So you can add your own creative flair to it is the idea. All right. So the benefits may be obvious, but just to make sure you understand, we want you to connect your community with the scientists. You can connect to your community as well, but you get to have special access to working scientists. We want this to be hands-on and impactful for everyone. And we'll give you the playbook, right? So you'll have a toolkit, you'll have a playbook of take-home resources as well, so you can sustain the engagement. And then we want to make sure you are a part of accelerating research. So beyond just facilitating this for your community, you can also know that in your heart, you are also, and visibly, we'll give you absolute credit, but you are advancing research as a part of this, right? I see a note in the chat. This will be citywide events for us. We already do NASA live streams. Awesome. That's great. I love that. Please make it citywide. That would be amazing. Cool. All right, speaking of signing up for it, we do have a application. I will send this in the follow-up as well in case anyone just wants a little bit more time to think about it. But you are welcome to take it now, and then we will keep you updated on any changes that happen, or anything that needs to be added. Danya in the chat is asking, are these days and projects listed somewhere? Oh, yeah, I meant to stay on that screen for a minute. I'm sorry. Here you go. Yeah, so we do have tentative, so technically they're subject to change because we have uh, various confirmation across the board and some changes have happened recently. So we're just making it very clear here of like the topics are decided, but the dates might change for the topics. So right now we have Do NASA Science Live for event number 1 on April 2nd. April 9th will be transcribing historic documents. April 16th is Stall Catchers. It's the playing an online game to help accelerate research on Alzheimer's disease. We've got Earth Day. Earth Day will be special. That'll be about identifying as many animals as possible in camera trap images, which is always really fun. And that's a really good one for younger ones too. So if any of you are youth centric, this one's a really easy one to be a part of. Or like it might be easier to connect the dots. And then we have another Do NASA Science Live one. So we'll have two, which will be great. Yeah. And this, again, this will be sent in the chat, but I can go ahead and drop the link in the follow-up, but I'll send this in the chat as well. See, list of prospective events. Go. Did I spell that right? Yes. Great. Okay. Any other questions about this? This is new, and we're trying to get as many people as possible involved. And so as this evolves, your questions, your concerns, the rumors you want to share, whatever that might be, will help us frame this in the way that makes the most sense. Okay. Cool. The link I sent in the chat also has the button for apply. Apply now. Boop. And it's open till December, so you've got plenty of time. Library name, address, la-di-da. We want to know what kind of population you serve, all of the above. This is your chance to add in answers for these, like, oh my gosh, yes, Earth Day. And then we do have some information here about like checking your capabilities for internet and such. Uh-oh, page is not ready yet. All right, this is why I said I'll send in the follow-up message too, because we did launch it fairly recently. So if it is coming back as an error, never fear, we'll send that in the chat, or we'll send that in the follow-up as well. Sorry, Amani. It should be working, but we'll figure out why. Okay, we did really great on time, and we actually have quite a bit of time for questions. So I did want to close this out with an idea of like the set of steps you can do to make sure you're most prepared. And so we have a couple things here. Oh, question before that. Is the application per library location or per system? It's per library location, preferably. If you do have like a whole system that you're trying to engage, feel free to send us an email, honestly, because that might also be helpful. info@scistarter.org. You can send us an email. Like you could submit a application for one library and then send us an email saying it's the whole district, and then we can chat about it. Because that's awesome, but that's also a lot of work to fill out every single one. So if you have quite a few libraries, I'd rather save you the time. Yeah. Okay. Does that mean, Sherry, was that working for you then, opening it? I'm scared to hear no. Okay. All right, well, oh, okay, yes. All right, so it looks like there might be, maybe one of us caught it at a weird time. So if it's not working for whatever reason, try refreshing because maybe it's a internet situation. Okay, cool, cool. Moving forward. All right, great. So for all of you who are thinking like this is way too much information, it's totally fair. We have all the information because we want to cover all our bases, but sometimes that means there's too much going on. So here's the deal. We do have an event next week. I will actually be in I might be in Arizona at this point, where we have an info session specifically for Acts of Science Connected. So if you'd like to investigate, like, what does this mean for my library? How would I make this work at the senior center that we're connected to, or whatever that might be, feel free to join us there. We would love to see you, regardless, because we'll talk a little bit more about it. We'll scan through all the information again, share the application information, and we will cover any questions. It's a little bit more laid back. It's not a webinar. It's a meeting, so it's more face to face. So we would love to know what the questions are. Now, in terms of what all you should do after this, so there are a lot of things I went over for signing up for things. So just to give you a good list of steps in the chat that Roland is dropping, it's a set of 4 things that we have for you, which is first, create a SciStarter account if you haven't gotten that far. So definitely do that first. Joining the network, you don't have to be a library, but you can absolutely, it's great to be a library adjacent type of organization, like a community organization or museum or science center, etc. And then the trainings are a great way to start. So if you haven't taken the foundations training, that's a great one. Oh, okay, Imani sent a quick message. I'll come back to that in a moment. And then that last one, register to join any of these sessions, which is the info session that is on the screen right now. So if you want more information, you want the more face-to-face, or want to talk through your specific situation, that is a great time to do it. Okay. Imani, we're getting a message that it is published, so we're trying to figure out what's going on your end. So give us a moment. Imani, I'll make sure that you get the email for the follow-up, of course, so we can try that again, if that's okay. Because I wonder if something weird is happening. Okay. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. That is odd. Okay, so it is happening for more than one person. Okay, good to know. We'll fix that. Again, it's new, so not surprising, but hopefully we can fix that by today. All right. Do you need to attend multiple workshops, or will they all be the same? That's a great question. They'll be different. So each of these workshops, this is definitely important to mention. So each of these workshops will involve being connected to one of the projects too. So for example, next week I'll be talking about the camera trap imaging projects. And so we'll kind of demo it so you can become a citizen science first in the project so you can see how this might work well, or like what troubleshooting things you might have to do. So they are different because they'll be focused on different types of projects. But the lesson is the same for like how the citizen science or access science connected program will work. So yes and no. But that's a great question. If you have particular topics you want us to cover too, that is acceptable advice. We would love to hear it. Which, speaking of which, these are all of these library network professional development calls are designed to help you, and sometimes that means that we need guidance on like what are the hot topics of what you need to know. So if there are any thoughts on like what we should talk about in the next official library network program like this, a big webinar, feel free to send us something in the chat to let us know what you're interested in too. Maybe you really want to just do citizen science together. Great. Maybe you want to walk through what recipe cards are. Maybe you want to learn how to use Canva to use the customizable templates. Any of the above are great things that I'm super willing to do. Is it possible to serve? Yes. Okay, so this is a great question in the chat. Michael, thanks for bringing this up, or maybe Andy. I saw someone called Michael that was also listed as Andy. Is it possible to serve as some kind of host for people to view the live stream from home? Andy, Michael. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Hi, Andy. Um, Okay, so is it possible to serve as some kind of host for people to view the live stream from home, have some kind of activities, those who can't make it but still participate? Great question. The mothership events in which SciStar is producing the Zoom is available to individuals as well. We are using this application form to sign up as many libraries as possible to get set to be a live stream host, to satellite the event essentially. However, However, that is also just a Zoom call. And so we have individuals across the country who might join separately. So part of our goal for the passive programming resources is to provide a type of flyer that your libraries can hand out that says participate from home also. Here's the option. So if your library, for example, can't host an event, you can specify do the project with us. We can help answer your questions because as your librarians tied into this event, we know what we're talking about. So that's why the info sessions are helpful. You might become more familiar with these projects, but they will participate from home, like doing the live stream from their own computers. Yeah. Ooh, more questions. Okay. Are there any citizen science projects you recommend for middle schoolers to participate in? I would love for my students to partake in this. Yeah, absolutely. Middle school is great for stall catchers, honestly. But I will share a link with you in the chat, which is, oop, wrong thing, to everyone. There we go. If you go to scistarter.org/education, this website is designed to show you projects by grade level. I will say it's about to be switched out, so when you go to that website today versus like tomorrow or the next day, it'll look very different. I'll actually show you the version that'll be up as of a couple days from now because that one might be more relevant in a couple days. Education. There we go. So this page, and this is very helpful for any type of facilitator, but essentially if you're looking for educational aspects of citizen science, you can come here. For example, we have an intro video to what citizen science is, the how to use resource, SciStar as an educator, in relations to the science standards. There are training modules and some, as an FYI, like coming soon, a bunch of these are going to be in existence soon. And then we have projects by grade level. So you can find them for pre-K through second grade and up. If we go to middle school, so 3 through 5 is right before middle school. And then 6 to 8, so we got iNaturalist, Globe at Night, Stream Selfie. Stall Catchers is on 9 through 12. Middle schoolers are great at it, though. I might shift it up, honestly. Monkey Health Explorer is honestly pretty great for middle school too. It is a little tougher, but if you're talking about cellular biology, it's a great one. And there was a very similar question from Sherry. What about schools? My husband is a science teacher and would probably love to do some of this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As a participant in the Access Science Connected, yes, absolutely. We would love to do that. The timings are a little funky for that. So just take note of on the Access Science Connected page, which you can see now. Yep. Okay. Oh, wrong one. If I go back. There we go. Access Science Connected, la-di-da-di-da. Choose one or more events. Some of these make more sense than others. So Pacific time, for example, depending on which time zone you're in, some of these will make more sense than others for school hours. Or you would send home a notice to parents saying, hey, have your kid watch this. That said, if there's a lot of folks who are submitting applications saying in the comments at the bottom saying it would be really great to have this time as well, that'll help us understand if there's a time that needs to be filled, if we need to add an event or shift one to a different time. So yeah, absolutely share this with him. That'd be great. Awesome. Okay. We're about 12 minutes from the hour, so we do have time for more questions if we have them. In fact, that was my last slide. Questions. So if there are any, we're happy to answer. Or if you want me to go back in time to previous ones, I can also stop my share for a moment. If any of you are curious, like what does this really look like in practice? There are a few examples that I would love to be able to show you all. Here it is. So I'll share this slide deck with you all as well. And if you are thinking to yourself, what does this actually look like? We have a few examples that I could give you here. Forgive me, it's not in presentation mode anymore, just to make it easy, but Montana State University, for example, they do pollinator events and tabling. We also have a museum that does Citizen Science Sundays, so if you ever want to do a regular event, these are examples of where that happens. Burton Bar has citizen science kits, but you definitely don't need citizen science kits. They're just an option. And they did a presentation on what citizen science is and what projects interest them so that they could decide what to do in future events. So from passive to barely anything all the way to citizen science kits and active events where you get together, we want to help you. Hannah has a question in the chat. Is there a way to mass collect data from students so they don't have to download any apps or submit personal information? Yeah, so I really should make a document about this, and I think I will. There is a couple of tricks you can use for account situations. So this works for libraries as well. So any type of facilitator organization, if you are supplying like the devices or you are getting everyone to participate in one event, there are a lot of projects that have digital or excuse me, Yeah, digital versions that you can print out of data collection sheets. So on the education page, for example, that I shared, you'll see, oh, where'd it go? Let's see. There we go. So in education specific circumstances, for example, we got special classroom accounts available is written in as a tag here. We also have printable data sheets as a tag here as well. So you'll start to notice which ones do and don't. Even if they don't have one, sometimes you can definitely just make one. That makes sense. And a lot of it could be determined as practice, or you can do a mass upload to the project leader. We've even had conversations with facilitators who will talk to the project leader and just say, hey, I have a big class wanting to participate. Can I have your help in submitting uh, a mass group of data so that they don't have to go through the account process, and that is totally fine. The idea of accounts is to make sure that it is valid data and that we're able to track locations of data, which is often very important, like pollinator health, for example. And so there's often accounts, but you can get away from that from digital sheets, which you can upload from one account. You can also create a bunch of accounts. So for example, at a library, if you have a bookmarked page for a list of, um, or a bookmarked page of projects that they can participate in, you can also have a login information. So library user one and then a fake password of some sort. And they could use that on the computer that they're using. Or you can loan out devices that specifies that. So there are ways around using individually identifiable accounts. The idea is that we want the data to be good. And so as long as you're being careful about training people on how to actually collect data, then it's wonderful. And you can get around those pretty quickly. And the special classroom accounts are helpful. I haven't created one in recent past, but I know they're well used. Thanks for the question, Hannah. All right. Any other questions? Oh, it looks like we might have fixed the account or the application. So, Imani, if you want to try again, if it doesn't work, we'll get it fixed, but let us know if it is working again. And I'm double checking that I missed any chat. Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, and for anyone else who also had that, I think there were a couple of you who messaged. Okay. Cool. I'm so excited to switch this out. It's gonna be great for the new one. I'll stop my chat or my screen share. Okay, well, right, we might be able to get 8 minutes back. This is the first time I've actually ended early for these, so congratulations on your 8 minutes back. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And hopefully we'll see you again on the 21st if you want to learn more about Access Science Connected and ask specific questions per your scenario. And otherwise, we'll keep you updated. We'll send you the list of all the resources tomorrow morning, should be. Okay, yeah. Thank you all. You're very welcome. Talk to you later. Cool. I'll go ahead and stop the recording.